the kids think that we're there helping them, but they give more to us. We leave class with like hugs and smiles, and that's what life is about, right? Just giving and being of service and doing something bigger than yourself. So this is not about me. And I always tell myself that, like, this isn't about you. Like, you're tired, this ain't about you. You got to keep going, or delegate, or get some help.
That was Sherema Fleming, founder of Cultured Movement and Cocoa Vegan Pastries. And this is Making It Here, a podcast by Epicenter NYC, where we spotlight the real stories behind entrepreneurs, artists, creators, and business leaders forging their own path. Every week, we dive into the hustle, the setbacks, the small wins that make the big picture possible. And every guest will have something to teach us, because making it here isn't easy. I'm your host, Amber Castillo. In New York City, the cost of access often determines who gets to step into the spotlight. Dance classes can run hundreds or even thousands of dollars, pricing out kids who could benefit from them most. That's where Cultured Movement comes in. It's a low-cost, culturally rooted dance program that centers confidence, connection, and not perfection. Founded by Sherema Fleming, a Bronx-born nurse, dancer, and baker who spent more than a decade making stages feel within reach for kids across the city. Today, I sit down with Sherema to learn more about how she's working to make dance more accessible and how a vegan pastry hustle helps keep it all going. Let's jump in. Here's my conversation with Sherema.
My name is Sherema Fleming, and I'm the executive director of Cultured Movement, a nonprofit dance company in New York City, and also the owner of the Cocoa Vegan Pastries, a vegan pastry company.
And we talked before about this vegan cookie hustle, but before you were baking, you were building a dance company, as you just mentioned. What called you back to that work?
The dance company never left. I remember being a little girl and dancing and just loving dance. When I was 4 years old, my mom put me in a nonprofit organization as well. And it was such an eye-opening experience because, like, you're on stage and people are clapping for you and people are looking at you. And it's like this newfound, like, talent, and you feel like a superhero as this little kid. And so I always loved that feeling. And so everything's just so expensive. So the nonprofit space was always a space that I thrived in throughout my whole life. So I knew that when I got older, I wanted to have a nonprofit discounted donation-based dance class for kids in general. So in 2009, I officially launched Cultured Movement, originally as a dance class for women. And then we branched off in 2013 to our nonprofit subsidiary, Cultured Kids, now Cultured Movement Kids. And so we've historically gone up to like high school, but now we focus on ages 6 to 12. And I have my high schoolers as like co-instructors.
How do you pass that baton to them? What does that process look like?
I thrive in teaching them leadership skills. A lot of them have been with us when they were younger and they kind of progressed. So I've seen their development. I know what they're capable of. And part of it is just sitting back and let them be the amazing young leaders that they are. I really enjoy watching them grow and watching them lead, and they do great jobs.
What kind of dance genres are we talking about? What kind of music? And if you could take us back to that first moment you remember as a young girl when this initial seed was planted.
So I teach hip hop. I'm a hip hop dancer, not classically trained in any other genre but hip hop. So I love hip hop. However, we have ballet, modern, we have K-pop, African. We had a friend come and teach Zumba. So just different cultures. Also, I remember when I was 4, I remember dancing in a hospital for sick kids, right? It was Harlem Hospital. And when I got older and became a nurse, my first job was at Harlem Hospital. I was actually born in Harlem Hospital. And then I took my girls to Harlem Hospital to dance in the pediatric unit. So it was like a full circle moment. So I remember that dancing for this children in pediatric unit at Harlem Hospital was my first like real dance experience, just people just so excited and clapping for it. So that was one of my most profound memories as a child in dance.
Yeah. And I was wondering with For the Culture as is such a powerful name for your summer dance program. Can you speak about what that phrase means to you and to some of these kids you're working with?
Culture is just so inclusive. It's all of us. We all have culture. The way we speak, what we eat, where we're from. And so I like to bring that into class. So like we start class in a circle. I have them talk about their own cultures, the music that they listen to at home, what they eat. So we're just like bridging the gap. And what I want my kids to know is that I don't want them to just know how to dance merengue. Like, where's it from? Point to it on the map. So I want them to be like aware because a lot of times cultures are infiltrated and yet we're not given the proper respect to its people, right? Like, so I want to make sure that they know the origins and all of those things. That's important to me as well.
You had mentioned teachers. So do you work with different teachers? It's not just you?
I love working with different teachers. They're so amazing, especially like as I get older, the younger teachers, because they have so many new nuances and they know new dances and they know TikTok. So I love working with different dancers. When we first started, my business partner, her background was Indian, so we did a lot of Bollywood dance, and I did like a video vixen hip hop, like a music video. So we did like a lot of Beyonce, Janet Jackson, Sierra. So yes, I love working with different cultures, different teachers. Of course, we have ballet, modern, and even though it's the kids' classes, when those teachers are teaching, I'm in there like learning with them.
Yes, you're also lifelong learning. And can you remind me of the timeline when you started adding some teachers to the team?
So in 2009, we had hip hop Bollywood. That was our two main. And I would say about 2011, we added belly dance. And then I would say 2012, we added Zumba. And then 2013, we switched gears to the children mostly, but we still had our adult dance classes like pop-ups. And the kids, we incorporate everything with the kids, like a little bit of Bollywood, a little bit of African, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of modern, a little bit of ballet. I feel like it's to be a versatile dancer is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, I imagine it informs your main style, even if your specialization is hip hop or another certain genre, right? There's something that you can take away from each genre.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so important, like Caribbean dance, Afro Caribbean, Latin. It's so important for kids to know them all. Like I think that exposure is important.
And how large is your team now?
We have two main teachers, one co-instructor, plus me, and I have a program manager. So about five of us. However, I do have like amazing donors and volunteers. So like I mentioned, we're a nonprofit organization, 501c3 nonprofit organization. So a lot of our funding comes from donors, like people who just believe in us and our mission and our vision. And it's always amazing to me. And my heart is always so full and grateful for people who reach into their pocket, their hard-earned money to donate to us and to make sure that the kids have class and to make sure the kids have uniforms and to make sure the kids have like stuff for the showcase. Like that's amazing. Recently we've gotten grants from the Bronx Council of the Arts. They've been a huge support of us having this summer program. Last year we got an Arts on the Block grant. We got it again this year. So just knowing that our community, our tribe supports us and our Bronx community supports us, it's like so heartwarming.
Yeah. When did you become a nonprofit?
This was in 2013.
What was the toughest part about filing that and officially becoming a nonprofit?
The paperwork took forever. Thankfully, I have a college friend who is a CPA, and he was so intricate in us getting our paperwork together. So he made it seamless, but the process is arduous. However, it's doable. I tell people all the time, you have an organization that has a mission that can serve, and if nonprofit is the way to go, especially like 501c3, definitely do it. It's so worth it.
Yeah. And you've said before that the start of this journey was, not finding affordable classes as a kid and how that changed your path. Is that something you think about as you're shaping the curriculum and making choices about what to add or not, or how culture is at the core of it?
All the time. I'm always like, no, it has to be free. It has to be. I'm always like, no, I can't charge. So it's like rent in New York City is crazy. Food is crazy. So the arts should not be expensive. Like you shouldn't be paying $1,000 for a dance class or for any extracurricular activities because for the most part, people are just trying to survive and to eat. And now your kid has this amazing talent and ability. And now you have to figure out how am I going to scramble together money or am I going to take the light bill and pay for dance class? That should not happen. So yeah, the dance classes initially, when we first started, they were 100% free, like no fundraising. But parents, they're so amazing. They would donate for uniforms, but now we have a fundraising based dance class, so they have to sell cookies or any type of fundraiser to have classes. So I've incorporated the Cocoa Vegan Pastries as the official fundraiser for Cultured Movement. So they have to sell fundraiser boxes of cookies to their aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, teachers, whoever wants to buy. They can go on the website, click the dancer's name, and buy a box, and boom, that counts as part of their dance class.
Was that always part of the vision, at least when you were thinking about this fundraising component? Was that just like a natural fit since you already had your vegan pastry business?
It was always a vision for the classes to be free or highly subsidized, or let's find a way to pay for this without breaking the bank. Yes. And then when Cocoa Vegan came, I'm like, perfect. They can just sell the cookies, and like it's a win-win all around. However, I can't force them to sell the cookies, so that's an option. A lot of the parents jump on it because, of course, it's a viable option they want to support. So I'm grateful for that. But definitely, like I always wanted to be fundraise based.
And because you had mentioned earlier that some of your older students sometimes take on an assistant role in class, I'm wondering how much of the fundraising aspect also kind of brings leadership into the mix.
I'm able to pay my instructors and co-instructors from the fundraisers, from our grants, from our donors, because even though they enjoy teaching, right, they have to buy a Metro card, they have to have lunch. So I'm all for my co-instructors, my instructors benefiting in ways because like it is work. I want them to see it as a career path as well. I had the pleasure of bringing in some industry dancers to dance class, like one notable Beyonce dancer. Her name is Kason. She's an amazing supporter. So she comes to the girls and she teaches and she tells them about the industry and the dance industry and dancing with Beyonce and dancing with Chris Brown. And, it's always so much fun for them to hear industry stories. So I want them to know that, yes, you're having fun. You're in dance class. You're learning. You're playing as well because it is a lot of fun, but this can be a career path. So when I have bring in my co-instructors who have been dancers, it's like, okay, now you're getting paid. Like now this is a viable way to get through college. It's a viable way to have a career. You can major in dance. So I want them to also see it as a career option.
How old are these co-instructors typically?
Most of they've been ages, I would say 16 through 17, 18.
So running your vegan pastry business, working as a nurse, how do you make time for all of that?
I don't know. No, it's a struggle. I try to do things in spurts, right? So summertime, it's the summer dance program and it's a lot of like night markets for the vegan pastry company, right? So I know I'm gonna focus on outdoor events and dance. And it's important to have a team. Like my culture movement team is amazing. I don't yet have a whole team for Cocoa Vegan, but culture movement is solid. Thank God I've been doing it long enough to have people who help. So I focus on that in the summertime, which is time I'm able to slow down a little bit in pastries as far as festivals and focus on, are we having fall classes? What pop-up classes are we having? Making sure I'm hitting those targets during the year. But I think because I really enjoy it, and even though I'm doing a lot and I'm tired, it's like a labor of love. So anything that you love, you make time for, you do it. It's passion, and it feels like it has a flow to it.
And what does that typical week look like for you right now?
So right now, a lot of my things happen after 5 o'clock. I work a full-time job as a nurse. So after 5, I'm like making sure I'm contacting my parents, making sure I'm in touch with my teachers, making sure my program manager and I are together, making sure I'm booking things for the showcase. Also, what I love working with is like entrepreneurs and like business owners. So for our showcase, we're gonna have like an artist. We're gonna like raffle off some art. We're going to have I have a friend with a t-shirt line, so she's gonna be at the showcase selling t-shirts. So just different. I love incorporating. So I love networking. And I'm also meeting with my business partner for the pastries, making sure we're doing what we need to do for our night markets. So that's a typical week. And then I just pray a lot, and God is guiding us. I just make sure that like I try to do His work. I'm trying to make sure, okay, God, is this the dance company that you want me to have? Is this lining up? So I have that level of God and spirituality guiding me.
Was there a moment, especially as you're mentioning your faith, where you doubted whether this would work with everything else you had going on? And what pushed you through that?
I think this may have been 2014. We had like low enrollment in the adult classes. So I knew I had to pivot. The kids' classes were going okay, but it was just kind of taxing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop everything. I just need a break. So I emailed my whole email list like, thank you guys for the time, for the years, for the experience. We're done. Everybody was like, so supportive, grateful for the culture movement. And then like any passion, right? I think once I took the break that I needed, I think I took a break for maybe like 6 to 9 months resting and living. And then I went back to it. Like I was like, I can't, your passion never goes away. You can't leave it. You can't just put it down and think you can never pick it up. And also it's not my decision, right? Like this is God's plan. When something is outside of yourself, like this is outside of me, and the kids think that we're there helping them, but they give more to us than we give. Like they give more to me and my teachers. Like we leave class with like hugs and smiles, and that's what life is about, right? Just giving and being of service and doing something bigger than yourself. So this is not about me. And I always tell myself that, like, this isn't about you. Like, you're tired. This ain't about you. You got to keep going or delegate or get some help. And I have a hard time asking for help. So this summer especially has been a big push because I'm really more hands off than normally. So I've had to rely on my help and I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, and remind me, when did you start kind of charging and incorporating the fundraising model?
So when we first started in 2009 with the adults, we had like $5 classes, but it was always like something fun and affordable, right? And we had enough people to charge that amount of money and still pay rent and still profit. So that was good. For the kids in 2013, I knew that I wanted to do like a free model. So everything was free. And probably when I came back from the break, I was like, I think I need to start to come up with a plan of bringing in revenue. So we started like with like raffles, and that's how they had dance classes. And then once I started the pastry company, I'm like, oh, I can go from raffles. We can go from raffles to cookies. I like the Girl Scout model, and that it works for us as well. People love cookies. People love to eat. That's how we started the fundraising.
So you have two very different businesses, one artistic and community driven, the other product based. You could argue that they're both very community driven. What would you say each one has taught you about entrepreneurship?
So I would say cultural movement has taught me about the longevity of entrepreneurship, right? Like how when things get difficult, when things look different, you have to pivot. Culture movement has taught me the art of pivoting. Okay, what can we do differently? This isn't working. How can we change it? How can we make this better? Coco Vegan is teaching me the art of balance and the art of time management. Because if I wait until the very last minute to make dough and bake, I'm going to be tired for the festival. So I think those are the great lessons that, like you said, a lot of it is intertwined, but then there are a lot of specific differences in them. So I would say culture movement, pivot, flexibility, longevity, cocoa vegan, time management.
And what advice would you give to someone with a talent, so whether it's dance, baking, anything else, who's on the fence about whether they should turn it into a business? What are the things you would advise them to think about?
Go for it. There is no one else like you. There's no one that's going to do it like you. You can have the same product as someone else, but yours is going to be different and unique, and so is theirs. So just do it. Also, do some research. Make sure your product is excellent. Excellent in your own right, right? Like, so if you can turn that into something amazing and you put your all into it and it's excellent and it's well thought out, it can't fail. So just do it. Go for it. Research. You'll like learn as you go. Don't think you have to have it all together. And utilize your team and your networks. Text everybody in your phone. Call everybody at church. Call everybody in your community center. Use your people because people want to help you and support you.
And what would you say you need right now? How can the community show up for you and your dancers right now?
We're enrolling now, so we need more students. So we're gonna keep the enrollment open, and we need people to show up at the showcase. It's gonna be an amazing experience. Alvin Ailey, if you've ever been, if you've ever been to the shows, they're spectacular. If you've ever been to the studios in Manhattan, there is just such a great space of like art and culture, and walking into that building is just a feeling of like culture. Bring your family, bring your children. It's going to be a good time.
Great. And then finally, what does it mean for you to be kind of making it here in New York City?
Yeah, so making it to me means gratitude, Just seeing these kids grow and being a part of their life, their lives is just like magical.
Definitely. And I just have quick lightning round questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Favorite song to choreograph to right now?
Janet Jackson, If.
Ooh. Best snack between dance classes?
A chocolate chip cookie.
Yours?
Always.
Most surprising reaction or performance you've seen from a young dancer?
Oh my gosh, when they're super shy in class and they get out on stage and they're like rocking it. Like, who is this little girl?
And what's harder, selling cookies or selling a dance program?
Selling cookies.
And last one, what's one New York City neighborhood you'd love to perform in next or teach classes in next?
I would like to perform at the Botanical Gardens in the Bronx.
Great. And where can folks find both of your businesses?
Yes, so Cultured Movement, our website is culturedmovement.org. So www.cultured, cultured, movement.org, and Cocoa Vegan Pastries, cvpastries.com. And we're on Instagram, Cultured Movement and Cocoa Vegan Pastries, and Facebook, Cultured Movement.
And the summer dance program is still open for enrollment.
Yes, we're open for enrollment ages 6 to 12. 305 West 38th Street every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're doing hip hop, modern, ballet, and K-pop. And we're going to culminate August 23rd at Ailey Studios from 3 to 5. Bring your family, bring your friends. It's going to be a fun day of dance, face painting, dance classes, artwork. So please come through.
If you want to see Sherema's work in motion, the Youth Summer Dance Program will culminate in a showcase on August 23rd at the Ailey Studios at 405 West 55th Street from 3 to 5. You can find details in today's show notes. Thanks for listening, and if today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend. We'd also love to hear from you. Leave us a review or reach out to us at hello@epicenter-nyc.com. That's all for today. Thanks for supporting us as we do our best to support our community. We couldn't do it without you. For more stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter at epicenter-nyc.com.